Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Orange. Last time we made the base stage starter Pokemon for the Humblo region, a region based off of the Netherlands. We had Knaben, the grass bunny Pokemon, based off of an orange carrot and Dutch farming. Fumu, the gas cow Pokemon, who was inspired by the Industrial Revolution and pollution. And Uckwater, the otter pup Pokemon. He trades and he sells seashells on the seashore. In this episode, I will be finishing their evolution lines. We have a lot to do and no time for chit chat, so come and join me for another adventure through the Humblo region. Last time, I decided that the overarching theme of my starters would be the three industries: farming, manufacturing, and trade. For my grass starter Knaben, I naturally decided to go for the industry of farming. So, its evolutions will lean in much more into the concept of a farmer. I'm going to show you my drawings in evolutionary order, not in chronological order. This is because I sketched out and designed the final evolutions first, since the final evolutions are the finished project that you are working towards. They're the ones you'll spend most of your time with, and so it's best to put most of your focus on them. On this journey, the middle stage starter is more of a transition that is meant to make the jump from just a little guy to competitive beast and ace of your team much more natural. I designed the middle stage starter of Knaben to be a less grown up and less mature version of its final evolution. He'll be a rough and tough fighter who's ready to tumble some weights. It's important to have a personality shift between your evolutions. This way it feels like your partner is growing with you on your journey. The carrot Knaben would chew on will be much bigger. I took some inspiration from the farmers picking their teeth with straw. Last time I explained the origins of the carrot's color, and I explained that Knaben will change just like the colors of a carrot. From a little white carrot to intermediate yellow in the middle stage, and eventually the final evolution will be the orange to finish its ultimate growth. Meet Bunnyboer, from bunny and the Dutch word for farmer, boer. Boer is also the Afrikaans word for farmer, and it's a common way to refer to the ethnic Dutch people in South Africa.
It chews on its yellow carrot for its dental hygiene. Taking away this carrot will turn it grouchy and aggressive. It has a bit of an attitude. It will compare the size of its carrot with other Bunnyboer to see who has the biggest. It takes great pride in its carrots.
It has the abilities Overgrow and the hidden ability Harvest. He has now got the ground type, since he'll be frolicking around in the dirt a lot as a farmer. He in this evolution will also know the move Rototiller. Now, let's take a look at the final evolution of the Knaben line. As anyone with more than 0 eyes can see, Knaben and Bunnyboer are based off of bunnies. But what you may not know is that the largest species of rabbit is a Flemish breed, uncreatively named the Flemish Giant. It's the largest living species of rabbits in the world. But wait, there is another. Oh well, there was another. Meet the extinct Neuralagus rex, the single largest lagomorph ever. It lived during the Pliocene and lived on the remote Spanish island Minorca. It reached this size thanks to a phenomenon called island gigantism. Basically, a species of hare or rabbit reached the Spanish islands long ago and got trapped there with no natural predators and an abundance of foods, allowing it to reach staggering sizes. As you may remember, the Dutch gained their independence from the Spanish during the 8 Years' War, and to celebrate this, they modified their carrots to be orange. Therefore, this extinct Spanish rabbit ties back perfectly to the entire concept of Knaben's evolutionary line. To top it all off, I gave him a jolly and more humble personality compared to the brash bunny boer. As a good farmer, he knows patience and care. He's a gentle giant who would definitely take great care of a little Knaben. Think of them as a little family. The timid youngest brother, the brash and rough older brother, and their gentle grandpa, living on the countryside together. Say hello to Ranch Rabbit, from Rancher and Rabbit. Together it also sounds like the name Roger Rabbit, from, well, Roger Rabbit.
There are only a few things more important to it than its carrots. If it lets you take a bite of its beloved vegetable, you are one of those things. If you aren't, it will still be very patient with you regardless. This Pokemon's patience is matched only by its caring nature. Those it is close to will receive bountiful gifts of delicious and fresh vegetables.
It has the abilities Overgrow and the hidden ability Harvest. Like its Prevos, its shiny is based on the red carrots. It would have the signature move called Chew Up. It will chew on its own carrot, restoring its health in full, but lowering its attack stat harshly. Let me know if you think this is busted. I hope after such a drastic growth and change, you still dig this family. Let me know in the comments if you would still choose Knaben and the Ranch Rabbit as your partner. Now, let's see what little Fumu has in store for us. When I drew Fumu, I kept in mind the starter personality triad. There's an unspoken rule to maintain diversity between the 3 starter options. All 3 of them need to have a different personality from each other, especially in regards to mass appeal. Usually, these 3 starter base sets come in the form of the cute one, the cool one, and the silly one. Knaben would be the cute little baby everyone loves. Think Sobble, Sprigatito, or Torchic. Aquater would be the feisty and cool one, akin to Chuico or Scorbunny, and coolest of all, Squirtle Squad. And lastly, the silly boys, such as Mudkip, Fuecoco, and now Fumu. These differences in personality ensure that every type of trainer has a starter that they like, and makes for good diversity in your options. I wanted to continue this silliness in Fumu's evolution. He'll be a goofy but awkward looking doofus with a derpy face and a funny name. Preferably a fart pun. He'll serve as more of a transition to the less silly final evolution, however, by stretching his proportions and by making him beefier. He'll have a pattern resembling the hedge of an industrial furnace, and now he has actual horns that smoke comes out of. Lastly, his gas is now poisonous and purple. This will lead to an added poison type, of course. This poison will also be much more pressurized, bursting out of him like a machine that's about to blow. That's also why he has the numb and derpy face. This cow is constantly overheating. Watch out for Katoots, from cattle and toots, which is another way to say farts. Not only is this cow a cattle, he's also a cattle. Katoots, the gas cow Pokemon.
Its 4 pressurized stomachs are excellent at digesting anything it can get its hands on. These stomachs build up noxious fumes. It has to release those fumes constantly or risk blowing up. trainers are advised to wear a face mask around Katoots. Breathing in its gases can lead to long-term negative effects to your health. Activists criticize the use of these Pokemon in factories.
It has the abilities Blaze and hidden ability Poison Heal. His shiny is based on the Belgian Blue, which is a modified species of cow originating from Belgium. I hope you like this chunky derp, because it's not gonna be much of a dummy for long. Let's see Katoot's final evolution. To finish off this line, I wanted a more animalistic starter choice. In recent generations, fans have often complained about starters being too humanoids and getting too much personality. Personally, I have no issues with humanoid starters, but I understand the complaints others may have. It's crucial for a starter trio to have diversity. That way, every person can have at least one starter that they'd like to pick. In Gen 9, we had 2 humanoid starters, but we also have Skeledirge, which is a more monstrous or animalistic crocodile starter. In fact, it's the first ever fire starter to be on all 4s. Skeledirge gave an option to people who wanted a return to form for starters, and I'm sure there were many people who were really happy with Fuecoco and Skeledirge because of this. Now, I'm aware I've shot myself in the foot with my starters. Usually, a starter trio pulls from different animal kingdoms. Except for maybe Gen 1, all starter trios have had a mixture of mammals, birds, or reptiles. By choosing 3 mammals for my starters, I'll have to try my best to make them stand out from each other. This is pretty difficult to accomplish, but by making the final evolution to Fumu a more animalistic design, I can get a little bit more diversity in my starters. This isn't to say he won't have any human attributes. The best starter Pokemon, in my opinion, have at least some human-like aspects to them, even if it's just a human personality. I'm making the poisonous smoke coming from his nose more like a mustache, and he'll have a round body and flimsy legs to resemble anti-capitalist propaganda posters from during the Industrial Revolution. Now, his colors were pretty hard for me to design on, and I'm not completely sure about the dominant black. I felt his shoulders were too bland, so I placed a symbol there that resembles a valve or a train wheel. This Pokemon will be a full-on steam train now. Don't get in the way of this locomotive, because he'll run you over. All aboard for Pollution, the industrial Pokemon from Bull and Pollution.
When enraged, Pollution reaches speeds of 45 miles per hour. It can only run in straight lines or following clear paths. It's not a very bright Pokemon. It's incredibly strong, able to pull an entire locomotive for hundreds of miles. It's also incredibly dense, as its internal temperatures cause overheating when angered.
It has the ability Blaze and hidden ability Poison Heal. Just like its pre-evolution, its shiny is a reference to the Belgian Blue. It would have the signature move Steam Rush, charging the foe while powered up, dealing massive damage and a guaranteed critical hits, but lowering both of its attack stats. I'm going to be honest, I'm still not 100% on board with Pollution, but I couldn't pin down exactly what the problem was. So please let me know in the comments what you would change about him. Or if you think I'm talking bogus and Pollution is the best Pokemon since Among Us, let me know in the comments as well. Now, there's one more starter line that we need to cover. Let's see what surprises Aquater has in store for us. As I said in the last video, Aquater was based on Dutch trade. I'm leaning more and more into that with its evolutions. I'll be basing them more on the Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, or VOC. I'll be taking more inspirations from their outfits now, and the neck fur, which was once puffy and wild, is now much more prim and proper. Its entire personality will be fancy, but arrogant. Think a teen boy in a fancy suit who thinks he's much more handsome than he actually is. I want him to come off as snooty and a bit snobbish. He thinks he's better than you after all. Something I didn't pay much attention to last time was the little shell that a quarter has. In last video's sketches, a quarter was shown to have pouches under his arms, where he stores shells and rocks. This evolution will grow upon the concept. He now has a sharper shell, which he pulls from his pouch like a baldric. Those are the belts that sea rovers would wear that held their swords. The sharp shell will serve as a sword for the snobbish she-otter. I'm making him stand up in his key art. However, rest assured he can walk on all fours as well. Lastly, I'll introduce a split in his tail, which will become more prominent in his final evolution. Meet Naughter, from naughty but also nautical, and otter. Naughter, the rover Pokemon.
It has a snooty and snobbish personality. It acts tougher and stronger than it really is, and takes incredible pride in its well-groomed fur. Despite being a water-type Pokemon, it despises getting its fur wet. It collects any shiny objects and seashells it can find. It's not above bullying weaker Pokemon to steal any precious items they may have. If its trainer isn't careful, their Pokemon may even rob them of their valuable items as well.
It has the abilities Torrent and the hidden ability Pickpocket. Just like the pre-evolution, its shiny is a fancy black with golden accents. Its shell becomes a cute pastel pink because that's a nice color, dang it! We're not done yet though. There's one more Pokemon we have to discuss today. Let's see what Naughter has up his very elegant and puffy sleeves. To end us off for today, Aquater's final evolution will take the seafaring motif to its extreme. I'm basically making an evil otter with pirate tendencies. Last episode, I did this bit where I talked about how messed up otters really were. So my plans fit here perfectly. He's gonna be a dark type. The VOC was infamous for its wrongdoings in the Dutch East Indies, conquering, exploiting and murdering natives of the Indonesian islands in cold blood. One particularly gruesome moment was the conquest of Banda. In 1920, a Dutch fleet sought to subjugate the island and its people. However, the people of Banda resisted the Dutch attempts to establish commercial supremacy. To punish this, Officer Jan Pieterszoon Koen ordered an all-out offensive on the people. In the end, only 7 Dutch soldiers lost their lives. However, 2,500 inhabitants lost theirs. 1,700 men, women and children were enslaved. Only an estimated 300 people managed to escape with their lives and with their freedom. The practices by the VOC in the region were heinous and cruel at best, and outright evil at worst. And all of it with the shallow goal of money and riches. Of course, the Pokemon won't be as evil and ruthless as its dark origin, but this Pokemon will still pillage and plunder the nests of others in the name of riches and glory. I'm expanding on the design concepts of Naughter. It's more animalistic, its tails are split in two to resemble the split coats of sailors at the time, and the tufts of hair will resemble a head with a feather or a wild, elegant hair. Its puffy collar will also grow and go around its neck more, also kind of resembling a floaty in a sense. Finally, I'm giving him a sharper and longer seashell like its pre-evolution. But it's no longer a dagger, it's a rapier, those thin French swords. Say ahoy to Marauder, from Marine and Otter. Together it also sounds like Marauder, which is a name given to a raider.
This Pokemon travels the world with its merry band. Leading its raft of Notter, it steals and plunders from the nests of any Pokemon it comes across. It keeps most of the bounty for itself. Their nefarious demeanor and incredible greed cause it to exploit other Pokemon. Even its own band of Notter isn't safe from its tricks and exploits. Keep an eye on your Marauder to make sure it doesn't misbehave.
It has the ability Torrent and the hidden ability Pickpockets. It would have the signature move Pillage, dealing the target minor damage and stealing their item. If the opponent isn't holding an item, the user deals major damage, lowering the opponent's defense and having a chance to flinch them. Hopefully, its dark origins doesn't scare you off from choosing this Jolly Sea Rover as your partner Pokemon. Let me know if you would still choose to sail the 7 seas with a Quadder with this as its evolution. So, those are the final evolutions to my starter Pokemon. Let me know in the comments who is your favorite and tell me what you think about them and how they could be improved. I am always open to artistic feedback by you guys. Before I go, however, if all goes well, this video will be uploaded on my birthday. And so to celebrate this, I made a little sketch of my starter Pokemon. I hope you like it. Oh, seems like Notter has a gift for me. Oh hey! It's a sign that says like and subscribe. Just what I always wanted for my birthday, I think. Thanks, Notter. And thank you all for watching. It's been another wonderful episode. And in the next video, I'll be drawing the Route 1 Pokemon that you can find on your journey. I'll once again try my best to get the video out on Wednesday, and I hope to see you all there. Have a wonderful day! I've been Gary the Muffin. Gotta catch me later!